Hi everyone, I'm uniquely Mia, also known as Mia. I'm a dual degree graduate student studying public administration and criminal justice, and in this video, I will be providing you with public administration knowledge. So one term that I learned about that was very interesting, and honestly, it applies to, I feel like, every sector of society, organizational workplaces, relationships with friends, relationship with family members, and so much more. That term is known as groupthink. And trust me, guys, when I explain it to you, it sounds a lot like peer pressure or conforming not to be the odd man out, in my opinion. So what is groupthink? Groupthink is an unconscious suppression of ideas because all the group's members or employees want to agree to avoid conflict. So when I learned about this topic, my professor provided me with a case study. And the case study essentially provided information about a clinic, a fertility clinic. And the fertility clinic had a total of about 5 employees. There was Nadia and Tyrone and Letitia, as well as Jolene was present. And this workplace, guys, it was chaos. It was total chaos. Employees were having unprofessional relationships with each other. Because of these unprofessional relationships, one employee was sabotaging another employee's work by mislabeling items, not labeling items correctly. And since it was a fertility clinic, the last sentence of the case study read that 2 families were sitting at the breakfast table one morning, and the 2 parents, they looked at, so there was a total of 4 parents. So both group of parents, they looked at their kid and they were like, I wonder how one of my kids have bright red hair and how the other kid has dark black hair. And based on that analogy, my assumption is, and it was proven correct by my professor, that the fertility clinic made a mix-up. They essentially had the kid that was biologically theirs. And groupthink, the workplace in the fertility clinic, it was chaos, guys. Because of this unorganization, unprofessionalism, and because nobody wanted to be the odd person out and disrupt the order of things, nobody went to the director, Tyrone, to tell him what was happening. And even the line manager who was reporting underneath Tyrone, she was involved within the chaos, guys. So this shows us that we need to avoid groupthink within professional organizations, within family relationships, within friends relationships. And how can we avoid this groupthink? We can avoid this groupthink in organizations, within families, within friend groups, by fostering opportunities for individuals to be vocal, guys. So create opportunities where people can say, I don't agree with this. It's okay to have different opinions, and we'll take those opinions and we'll make things better. So within a workplace, methods that can be used to foster positive thinking, to avoid groupthink behavior, is staff meetings. Having staff meetings for your employees, and at these staff meetings, essentially creating a standard of saying, okay, we're dedicating 30 minutes or an hour of this time for us to look at how we are providing customers with the best experience possible, or how we are operating as a team within our organization. And we can then say, okay, we're going to implement this new rule, or this is working well, or this isn't working well. Also, employees should be encouraged to maintain professional relationships within organizations, and if they have disagreements with each other, to speak to each other about those disagreements. And if they are uncomfortable, if they don't want to do that, to then report to your supervisor about those disagreements. Another method that was introduced in the textbook that we can use to avoid groupthink is implement monetary incentives for employees who perform the best at their job. So if we have an even playing field, you can say, where people are hired, and it's a standard that's saying, okay, regardless if you go above and beyond at your job, and if you do everything correct, and you have this other employee who doesn't do everything correct and who doesn't go above and beyond, but you're evaluated the same way, and there's no incentives, or there's no bonuses, or just no recognition at all, or appreciation, this can foster groupthink behavior and thinking among both employees, your high-performing employee and your low-performing employee. So that means ultimately your high-performing employee can say, what's the point of this? I'm not receiving any incentive. start engaging in groupthink behavior. And when they see things that are not positively affecting the organization, they're not going to say anything. Then their productivity standard can then decrease within groupthink behavior. Avoid groupthink behavior evaluations, employee evaluations. And like I said, this can correlate to friends. So if you and your family and your friends want to implement family evaluations, you can also do that, whether that's a yearly evaluation or an evaluation every 6 months. And you guys are sitting down and saying, okay, what did I do throughout the year that you didn't like? Or how can I improve as an employee? How can I improve as a friend? How can I improve as a family member? And you're writing down that feedback and you're writing down that goals, and you have one person or two people doing a check-in with you every 6 months or every year and say, okay, you're meeting this goal or you're not meeting this goal, because that'll keep you accountable and that'll then keep your supervisors accountable. Just know who you are reporting to, because within an organization, there are multiple individuals of power. So the founder within an organization, and then you have various directors. So let's say you're looking at an organization that deals with housing initiatives for individuals. So you have the founder, the person who came up with the idea, went through the process of creating the organization. And then let's say you have the director of employment assistance. Then you have the director of housing. Then you have a director of hiring. And those three directors, they can either hire their own managers who report to them, or they can just hire general employees. So let's say these three directors hire their own managers, which we are going to call line managers. These line managers then hire the regular employees who are making minimum wages. So discrepancies and groupthink behavior can occur if these low-level employees do not directly report to their line manager. Instead, they report to the director, or instead they're reporting to the director that's not the director of their department. That can cause a lot of confusion and a lot of power dynamic shifts, which can then cause non-professionalism within an organization and confusion. So guys, the main thing to remember when to avoid groupthink in an environment, whether that's a workplace or whether that is within your friend group or your family, create opportunities for positive thinking where opinions are welcomed and people won't be judged for having opinions. Have a clear hierarchy that you as directors and founders and supervisors understand, and make sure your low-level employees understand who they're supposed to directly report to. 3, create opportunities where individuals are rewarded for their hard work, and where individuals who are not who do not perform well are held accountable for their non-positive, non-productive, and etc. behavior. So hopefully you enjoyed this little video about groupthink from public administration. If you guys would like to learn more about public organization and how we can make organizations better, feel free to leave a comment and I'll be more than happy to make another video like this.